What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, this is the All-In Transformation with my man here, Nick Del Toro. So this is now episode number 3. So if you guys watched episode number 1, you saw the starting point of this journey. Nick was 272 when we first started. Today, what did you weigh in at?
259.6.
259.6. So
Yeah.
what is that? That's like 13 pounds?
13 pounds.
In roughly 12 days?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That, guys, is not normal. So don't, like, we can put an asterisk next to it. What do you say this? Like, these results may vary.
Oh, yeah.
So sure. just to let you know, guys, like, you know, every person, every individual is going to work at their own pace. It all depends on just really a lot of different factors, but he's moving really, really quick, which is great. Obviously, you know, we have the ultimate goal. We told you guys, we're trying to get to that 10%. We're having him looking sexy, you know, looking good, aesthetic.
Summertime.
Yeah, get that summer body rolling. You know, but we're not just working on the physical aspect of things. We're also working on other things, mental.
Yeah.
You know, mental comes first, actually. I think we knock that out. Everything else tends to flow 100%. With it. But man, fill me in, guy. How you feeling?
Okay. As you know, with work, I'm a little bit spread thin.
Yep.
But I'm eliminating certain things that I can't really change, and I'm recognizing opportunities over here to make up way more for these things that I have to eliminate. So aside from that, body, I can feel everything getting thinner. You know, all my sides and all my.
How are your clothes fitting?
Ass, jeans are fitting better. No joke, man. I felt like my mom, because I remember her when she was gaining weight, and she'd be like, "Oh no." And then I was like trying to put my jeans over my ass. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, this isn't me. This is my mom. You know
what makes me think of that is like those girls that are trying to show their ass off when they're like,
yeah, I wasn't trying.
But obviously not with the same the same feeling going on.
Yeah, no, not at all. I was kind of like, obviously we have flex denim here at Gas, but
Nice.
They didn't flex that much.
Oh man, boy. Woo.
But aside from that, super motivated. My friend, she started with her own transformation. We grew up in this sport together.
Yeah.
And she wanted to thank both of us, because she's like, Nick, if you didn't put out that video, I wouldn't have started.
Is this Janet?
Yeah, this
Dude,
is Janet.
Yeah.
So the energy, it's all kind of like you reflect on. It's like whatever you put out in the universe, you get back. I'm getting that energy back. So,
dude, that's everything, man.
Right?
That's everything. Seriously, man.
Yeah.
Just to fill in on that right there. Like he said, what you put out is what you get. You know, there's a quote in the Bible: "Ask and you shall receive." You know, and that goes both ways, guys. So if you ask for something good, he that seeketh knocketh, and to him that door shall open. So it's like if you seek something good, then you're gonna receive something good back. And it's like universal law in a sense. So just keep that in mind. And this is why it's important that you want to be able to really work on the mindset. Like I mentioned in episode 2, we focus on building the mind just like we build the body, because they both are one and the same. They work together.
Yeah, and just to comment on episode 2, we haven't been showing training, obviously, because we've been trying to be low-key and respectful of, you know, the shutdown and everything, and it's like,
right.
You know, it's like, we should have never shut down in the first place, but that's another story.
That's neither here nor there, yeah.
Yeah, that's another story.
We could definitely go on a full tangent just with that alone.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to get this taken down, but obviously, like, when I was impulse eating, you know, it was some kind of a void and some kind of a need that I was trying to fill with the eating. I was eating my feelings, so to speak.
Okay, because I was going to say, my question to you is, what do you think that it was that you were trying to fill in? Yeah. The reason why I'm asking this is because this is going to resonate with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, even I will go through this. Uh-huh. But then it's like, what we have to recognize is, guys, when the good thing about eating good quality, nutrient-dense foods and being on point with your nutrition is that once you go off, man, you feel it. It's like a hard hit, you know? So, and then it's like, that's that reminder within your own body that's telling you like, whoa, let's get back to this because I enjoy feeling great.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's the mindset that I really want people to really kind of understand is that, you know, like you said, it's like, why we have to ask ourselves these questions. Why are we doing it? Because you have to pinpoint the exact reason that we do things so that we can actually step over those hills.
Right on. And on that note, I mean, I would get the, obviously the instant gratification of the Uber Eats and then eat that and then pretty immediately have a food coma the next day, hard to wake up, foggy brained. But then, you know, on the same note of the instant gratification, it's like Instagram. I'm in the fitness industry. I follow a lot of fitness people, but man, scrolling past people with the body that I aspire to have is a little bit, it makes me kind of nuts, and it makes me like look at myself in the moment and really feel anxious and wanting it now. And
Does it make you feel upset?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, fuck, I want it now, you know? And very, I think it's stressful.
It is.
You know?
It can be. And this is where we have to understand, guys, that social media is not reality, okay? Me and Nick talked about this off camera. He mentioned, or rather I mentioned that, like, we have to understand that people are basically putting up their highlights. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, well, not TikTok because everything's pretty much on, you know, at that moment. But, like, especially Instagram, you know, it's their highlight reel. You know, people are only going to put up the good, best pictures and the best videos. You know, a lot of these people, you know, Throwback Thursday, you know, Flex Friday. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I play the game sometimes too, but I try to get away from that because, you know, I like to live in the now. I like to live in the moment and realize, okay, instead of looking at that person and having that feeling inside that, like, wow, like, you look at yourself and you feel like you need to be this now. Like, we have to think about, okay, listen, use it as motivation instead.
Yeah.
You know, we got to change the mindset. We have to flip that over and be like, what am I doing now that's going to help me get there? Instead of using it like almost, because you don't want to compare yourself to anyone. You know, you have to just understand who you are, love yourself at all times. And if you want to make a change, then we make a change. And all that it takes is actions. You know, just like we set the plan in place for us to be able to get there. Obviously, we're getting there.
So on that note, like with being triggered, because I would consider that being triggered. You see in this, and you're getting all exacerbated and, you know.
Let it light that fire in you, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, instead of getting upset, use it as the fire to, man, let me go hammer out this cardio session. Let me hammer out this workout. You know, I'm going to give it my absolute all.
So getting to the training. So this week we're getting to highlight training, obviously, because the gyms are opening up.
Yep.
Sweden never closed down, but we won't mention that. Good, John. Show him.
Feel the delta pump, and then you see everything is controlled, man. We're not going to be swinging. We might swing like when it gets like a little hard.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that we're minimizing that as much as possible.
I've been training as long as you've been training.
Yeah.
And obviously there's you know, very human condition of an ego, which I didn't know I had an ego until I trained with John, and just little cues that I'm like relearning things that should have been from the get-go through the workout, because everything in bodybuilding is based on connection and feeling the muscle working.
Yep.
Or else.
So you want to be able to basically, like, you're using your mind to contract it, right? Your hands are just like the object that's holding it, but you come through and you're just pushing through, and you're using that tricep to contract everything, as opposed to just, you know, we're just looking to move the weight. You want to actually nice and controlled.
You're putting that stress somewhere else versus versus the target muscle.
Correct.
And you're not going to get the desired effect of growing whatever muscle you're trying to focus on.
Right. So there's definitely going to be different ways of training. You guys see Branch and Johnny, they train like savages. Obviously, it works for them. You know, I feel like there's always a kind of, there's always I'm not going to say a way of going about things, but you know, everyone has their own method to the madness, I guess you can say, right?
Yeah.
So for me personally, You know, I love to dive into that style of training as well. But to me, it's more so like every now and then. But for the majority of our training sessions, we have to focus on form and technique. You know, and this is where like being able to, because I told Nick, I was like, we have to get together and get some training sessions in, just so I can see like where can I help you improve? Because he's mentioning he wants to really build his arms.
With any movement, you want to make it harder. So even though this is not necessarily very heavy, by focusing on the contraction and really getting a good negative here, you're making this movement that much harder and really getting a lot more out of the biceps. Slow it down even more.
Really build those delts, get that upper chest, you know, going.
I got it.
Yeah, push that shit. Come on. Let's go.
Still got a little something in me. Woo! I struggle with that when I'm seeing stars right now.
You're looking at me. And I thought I knew, it's like, I know, I've done this, I've competed, you know, a few times. I've looked pretty good. I know what I'm doing. It's like, then I trained once with John, and it's like, oh shit, I forgot about this. I never felt this. I never tried this.
Right.
And
So that's it.
checked me. Yeah.
That's it. You know, but that's why, again, you know, having someone there to be able to help you get you know, make those changes and see what's going on so that we can make those improvements and help you optimize the process in itself. You know, so that's what we were able to do with what did we train? We trained a little bit of chest.
We trained, we trained chest, we trained shoulders, and we trained arms. Yeah, we didn't get the chest one on video though.
Okay.
So we got shoulders and
with
arms.
delts and arms.
Yeah.
But just like little cues, man. Like especially like for example, we did rear delt flies. You know, kind of coming in, bringing that chest out, really focusing, using that mind to muscle connection on contracting those rear delts, because it's that honestly rear delts is probably one of the hardest muscles to build because you really can't see it. Honestly, back in itself, some people that are just genetically gifted like this guy, you know, has a good wide back, you know, and as he continues to improve, that I guarantee you will just keep getting better because his body just has like, you create that stimulus. You know, with myself, it's actually, my back was one of those things that was hard for me to build. It's like I really had to hone in and figure out what was the best way for me to go about it.
Problem and solutions.
Right.
Like, then you analyze why, like, you know, you analyze why you're feeling this way with Instagram. You analyze why you're missing a beat a little bit with your back.
Right.
So you pick it apart and find a solution.
Yeah.
So,
because weightlifting, you know, typically is just moving, you know, the weight from point A to point B. But when it comes to bodybuilding, we really have to optimize the process, optimize that lift, you know, get that cue in there and really figure out what's the best way for me to be able to target this muscle and hit it, and you can feel it. So, and that's the beautiful thing about it is just, and then once we get there, then we continue to improve from there. You know, so that's kind of what I was showing him just with that, when we did the curls. What else?
Yeah.
Oh, the lateral raises.
The lateral raises. I've always admired any superhero, and kind of subconsciously, people who have shoulders are automatically, your subconscious thinks athletic, your subconscious thinks Marvel superhero,
right.
Your subconscious thinks power, strength, and I've always admired this look, and I know this about, you know, shoulder development, so I always, in that front relaxed position, that's the first thing the judges see. I've always admired that capped out delt,
yep.
But I've always missed the connection. You know, I've always
right.
needed to over-establish that first before I actually feel it. So this time around, we did a couple of techniques of really slow tempos, and then some cues with the hands acting as levers, and then just pulling with the delts.
Yep.
So, but.
And it's not to say that I know everything, man, but it's just, I know that, of course, with the knowledge that I have, I'm able to help him, you know, kind of do that. And because, I mean, obviously Nick knows what the hell he's doing. You know, he couldn't have built his physique without having that knowledge. But we can all learn. Hell, I know that I can still learn. This is why I enjoy watching people's training videos. I enjoy listening to Ben Pakulski with his stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and anyone that I can take in some information from, I'm willing to dive into it. You know, whether it be through training, whether it be through nutrition. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, we all can get better.
So first I need the connection, obviously, and we establish that on every single lift. From there, What do I need?
So basically, why I wanted to. So basically, why I really wanted to get in with Nick and get some of these workout sessions in is because that way he can understand the type of intensity that needs to be brought to the training session. Obviously, but with proper technique and form.
Technique before intensity.
Yes.
Technique before intensity. Because I could do 45, 50-pound dumbbells.
Yep.
I was doing that for years. I wasn't getting nowhere.
Right.
So.
Because you're not creating that stimulus. Now we slow it down, we lower the weight, do it right. Obviously, you get more out of it. You can feel, like, that's the beautiful thing is that you can feel the pump, man. You can feel everything just filling out, and that's how you know you're actually hitting the muscle. Because again, yeah, we can come in here, swing the weight around, moving from point A to point B, fucking go hard, you know, but are we actually getting what we think we're getting out of it? You know, a lot of the times that's not going to be the case. We have to, and this is where, you know, some of these guys have to fucking train super duper crazy and intense so that they can. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but my mindset when it comes to training is, what can I do to minimize my risk of injury? You know, so all at the same time while still being able to get exactly what I want out of it.
Right on. And then on top of the establishing the connection, then you apply the progressive overload, the heavier weights, the more the reps, and you know, but you can't jump this order of operations. No. Yeah. No,
you have to get that down first, and that goes with anything. That's why with my, you know, if I'm working with just a normal client, someone that's looking to get in better shape and you know, heck, if they're looking to drop body fat or build muscle, we have to establish form and technique. That has to come first, because let's say we get you to do a squat, but now you're squatting, you're bending your back over, your ass is sticking out way too far. You know, you're throwing in way too much lower back into that movement, as opposed to, like, you know, keeping everything perfectly aligned, keeping your head straight, and being able to sink down like you're sitting in a chair, you know, and really just working the movement properly. We have to get that, because once you get that down, then again, we focus on building. We focus on creating more intensity through the training session.
Solid foundation.
That's it. Yeah. The foundation has to come first.
So speaking of foundation, we established the connection, and then we hit every area of the delt. Because I was looking at some photos I took of you for Better Bodies. You're doing a row, and your rear delt is just like almost Kevin Levrone,
well,
reminiscent of that. Yeah, but it's like the whole nice diamond spade delt just hanging off there. It's like, damn, I want to build that on myself. That's the beauty of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Because you can see something, it's like, I want to build that on myself. And then, you know, you don't just slap on some clay, but you know, you go and lift some weights. That was a pumping iron reference.
Okay. You can throw in Q and Arnold.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll do that actually in post. Yeah, like I said, we did rear delts, flies, overhead press, and then we went back to we went to upright rows.
Yep.
And then we went to
basically 2 exercises per head on your delts.
Right on.
Because this week we only trained shoulders 1 time. What I like to do with delts is to be able to get at least 2 exercises in per head of the shoulder. So we did 2 for anterior, we did 2 for laterals, and then medial head, and then we did 2 for the rear delt. So, but why we did the rear delt first was because that was one of the parts that he was really wanting to emphasize for. So we want to be able to put that at the beginning. So and then again we went straight to the laterals, moved on to the overhead press. These things can obviously be switched, but I wanted for him to be able to kind of get that feeling first.
What does failure mean? Let's just establish that for everybody.
So basically failure, if we look at it from the RPE scale, RPE, rate of perceived exertion, you know, is like really pushing it to where you cannot get another rep in. That's going to be failure. You know, and then of course, from there we can go beyond failure. We'd hit drop sets and stuff, and then kind of push past that. But you know, even RPE 7, 8 is still very hard. So it's like we have to kind of keep in mind that's a lot of the working sets we start off with is going to start there around 7, 8, which is going to leave you maybe anywhere between 2 to 3 reps in tank, which is what, you know, you saw when we were building up.
Right.
It's like, all right, I want you to stop here because we still have more room to go with increasing the weight.
Right. So you're conserving energy so you can exert
more on that top set.
Right. And then going to failure is important for just creating that stimulus for your body to adapt, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. And then
Exactly.
you do that over and over and over, day after day after day, winning every single workout.
Right.
Maintaining your nutrition, ultimately building this awesome physique.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, arm day.
Arm day.
I have a good connection with my biceps, obviously. I have a decent connection with my triceps.
Because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're being able to establish that connection within the muscle. Because you can move the weight from here, from point A to point B, but you're not necessarily getting the most out of it. So with that, especially with the first exercise, that's going to establish that connection.
Yeah.
We go in, we feel it. Now you feel that muscle being pumped. Bring that negative down. You're getting all those fibers, making sure you fully extend at the bottom. Come back up, and now you're focusing. You have that mind to muscle connection where that bicep is the only thing that's moving the weight, not this. Because when you're swinging, you're using a lot more.
I can do 60-pound dumbbells, man.
Right.
But
Same here.
These don't look.
We did 100.
Yeah.
But it's like, am I really getting the most out of the biceps?
Right.
Right. With that, we slow it down. We work through the movement. Now we're being a lot safer. Because I hurt my back actually doing that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wanted to make sure that, especially this workout session, that we make sure that we really, really, really focus on form and technique.
And then build on top of that, because we're just at the beginning of the series. So
Yeah.
Episode 3 rather. This is only week 2.
Yeah.
So I'm down to 259. Got in some much needed revisiting of the basic
Yep.
connection as a foundation, then add on intensity to all these lifts. Shoulders and arms. So how do we progress? Just keep on keeping on.
Yeah,
right?
because now that we got the basics down, from here, we just continue to push. We work with what his body's giving us, right? So this is why it's important for you to track your workouts too. So it's like, the good thing is we're filming some of these so we can see the weights that we're using. Or for anyone that has a journal, write it down. Journal your training. So then where you can improve upon each session. You're going to be able to push those boundaries more and more, because that's the key. If we want to build muscle, you have to get better. You have to improve. You can't sit there and just and this is why,
too.
right?
Yeah.
You're going to get stronger. This is why, with my clients and stuff, I try to tell them, look, we have to stick to a plan. You have to keep doing that plan week in and week out. Of course, we run through different phases. So we'll run through a hypertrophy phase where we're in 8 to 10 rep range or 8 to 12 rep range.
Yeah.
And then we'll throw in a week where everything is 20 reps. So of course, not everything we're not gonna be able to hit the same amount of weight, but we're conditioning the muscle in a different way. And then we bring it down and we can work, a 4 to 6 rep range. So it's now we're being able to focus more on strength. You're gonna pick up that weight a little bit more. We increase the rest time between each set, so that you can be able to maximize those lifts. But now it's just, the point is to be able to work the different fibers, and again, condition the muscle in every way you possibly can, so that you're improving in every facet.
Right, versus what I was doing, just spinning my wheels and then just kind of lifting as a hobby.
Right, because if you want to get better, that's the goal for Nick, is to get better. So we're focusing and we're creating the program in itself so that he can improve his physique. And you'll see it, we're already getting there now.
Yeah.